Hey guys, this is the Betamax Man here, and well, I went to use the tuner, and the tuner is not working like it should. You could see that I've tuned it in, so I've got a VHS DVD combo output with a RF cable, which is your coax cable. So I've got it going out of the JVC and going into the Sanyo beta machine here. And there's this actually has a digital tuner, so it will tune in the channel digitally. So I've already set the preset. Preset is for, you know, putting what channel, adding a channel. Then you have AFC, which is automatic fine tuning. And if you're as old as I am, you're very familiar with all this. If you're younger than I am, well, maybe you don't know anything about tuners. But anyway, I'm looking at the tuner and I'm wanting to record something just to see if this thing will make a recording, because these do have tendencies to have issues with recording in black and white. Sometimes they record in black and white, and the reason why they do that is because there's capacitors that have went bad in the preamp circuitry for the record side. Because there's a play side and a record side, and the record side caps go bad, and that causes them to record in black and white. So I was just curious if I recorded with this thing and see if it would record like it's supposed to, or is it going to record in black and white. But when tuning this thing, so I'm going to go automatic fine tuning. I'm going to turn it on. So the fine tuning controls are up here at the top. So I can adjust it one way or the other, but then it gets real bad. And I can't seem to get the tuner to tune in like it should. That's about as best as I can get it. It will not tune in otherwise. But if we just keep dialing it in, and that's about as best as I can get it. So I'm going to play a tape here. They're going to need caps changed in the tuner for sure, so we'll do that. But for now, this is pretty much the image that I'm getting. Now, also the TV that I'm using, yeah, I should probably use an analog TV instead of the digital set, but I want to use the big screen. That TV was bought, and I don't even really like that TV, but that one has a problem that I still gotta fix. So when I do that, we'll do a video on that later, but right now this is the only TV I have that I can use. So this is actually starting to tune out. The automatic tuning kind of faded out. See, now let's do it so that we can get audio. And this is a trailer, so I can get away with showing this without getting hit with a copyright. Plus, the image is so poor that I don't think YouTube minds. So, you know, we can tune it, and for... Okay, if I do the other button, it's actually getting a little better. Nope. Never mind. It's the only buttons that tune it are the top ones. These are basically just, I think, for channel. I don't know. It says it's got, okay, for the channel buttons are down here, and the tuner buttons are up above here. So Those are the only ones that will allow me. Yeah, so it's... That's like really, really bad. That signal, that video signal coming in should be nice and clean and crisp. So we're gonna have to work on the tuner before we can even attempt to make a recording. Now we can make a recording of this, but it would be absolutely atrocious. So, but it would be a demonstration just to see if this thing will record in color or not. So, but this machine will need some work. Now, I know what you're thinking. Now, why mess around with the tuner when all of the analog TV has been shut off? Well, you still want to have the tuner working. Because like what I'm doing here, if I want to input something to the coaxial cable, because some of the cable boxes, because cable TV, if you have cable TV, you have like a little cable box, and you have to hook that up sometimes with the RF cable. I think nowadays they're all done with, they use HDMI cables now. But if you've got video signal that you want to put into the tuner that's coming off of channel 3 or channel 4, you want to have that tuner working. And with this one, it's actually getting worse as it just sits. I'm going to see if it gets any better by warming it up. Yeah, we could do a recording just to see if it'll record color or not. I mean, we do have color, not very good, but we can turn the automatic fine-tuning off, and that will leave it set for that. And we can hit record on there, but I want to see if we can get this tuner to work properly, because if it ain't gonna work, then you know, we need to fix it. So, and I'm kind of stalled right now on the 550, but we will get that one fixed eventually. Probably next weekend we'll take a look at the piece that we need to replace on the 550. But I thought, well, for today we're gonna mess around with this Sanyo Super Beta Hi-Fi. And yes, I know, I do tend to talk with my hands. It's just the way I am. I've always expressed myself by talking with my hands. I don't know why. Some people do, some people don't. I'm one of the people, like Scotty Killman on, he's an auto mechanic. He has a YouTube channel, and he talks with his hands too. So I'm not the only one that talks with their hands. Just a way of expressing myself, I guess. Now, we can go ahead and we can put a tape in. I'm going to go ahead and rewind the commercials, because I want to record the trailer so that I can play it back and not get hit with a copyright, because it's okay to play the trailer, movie trailer, on YouTube, because it's just a trailer. They're okay with that. They don't seem to have copyright issues with that. But if we were playing a movie, yeah, they would definitely hit me with a copyright. But you can play a movie, you just have to turn the sound off or not show the whole image in order so you don't get hit with that, you know, copyright strike. But so let's just rewind the commercials all the way so we can just do a recording. I just want to see if it's going to record correctly or not. Even though the imagery coming in is not very good, that yes, the tuner isn't working very good. And I also want to check out the RCA connectors going in. I want to see if the RCA connectors going into the machine is working. So let's just go ahead and we'll start with the A Bug's Life trailer. I remember getting A Bug's Life on VHS for my birthday. Okay, so we'll start with the we'll start the recording after the FBI lines. Okay, we'll stop the tape, and that's terrible. We're only getting like some of the image. Most of the image is actually cut off. And this has been stretched out to 16:9. Yes, I know there's haters out there that don't like it when you stretch it. I'm stretching the 4:3 image because I don't want to see black bars. Okay? Well, let's get a tape. I've got a tape that we can use that we'll record with. I've actually got a Zenith cassette. This is an L750. I'm just gonna use it as a test for recording. And I'm just gonna fast forward it just a little bit. We'll reset the counter. We'll hit the record button. We'll hit the play on the VHS. So we're just gonna make a recording of this. And we're gonna see if it's going to record, because I want to see if it's gonna record in black and white, or is it gonna record like it's supposed to, which is in color. And of course the digital TV probably has something to do with some of the quality, terrible quality. But it should have a good picture. It shouldn't have a picture that looks like that. So we need to have, it should have a nice, good, solid picture. RF is not the best way to get a signal coming into your TV, but back in the 80s and 90s, that was the only way you could get an input signal, was through a coaxial cable, unless you had like digital cable, which you would go through a cable box and you could output or input with RCA or coaxial. There were some boxes that could do both coaxial or RCA input. Now, Betamax doesn't care about macro vision, so we don't have to worry about that. But it should not have a signal that looks that way, but I just want to see if it's going to be colored or not. And I know I tend to repeat myself. I try not to, but... And it is very hot today. For a holiday weekend, it's pretty warm. Just gonna record for another minute or so, and that should be plenty of time for the recording. We'll just go through one more of the trailer.
One of its greatest adventures ever is coming to video this August for the very first time. Introducing Disney's 25th animated classic, The Black Cauldron. incredible adventure with some exciting new characters. The brave warrior Terran, the beautiful princess, the mischievous Gertie, the magical pig Henwin, the fiendish creeper,
Always get blamed for these things.
and the evil emperor, the horned king.
This would be a good one to get on Laserdisc.
Now, Terran and his friends
I don't think I've ever seen the Black Cauldron.
save the kingdom.
I know it sounds weird because this was around when I was a kid, but I never did see the Black Cauldron. That was one I never had. Never seen either. So, we had a VHS, of course, when I was growing up.
It's a legendary
We did have a family friend who had a Beta machine. He actually paid like, I think, something like $1,500 for the Sony SL 7200 is what he had.
timeless adventure of Disney's 25th animated
But him and his mom had a lot of money, so. Pocahontas, this is a really good one. I've got this on Laserdisc. You gotta have this one on Laserdisc.
brand new world premiere movie coming only to video. Pocahontas 2, Journey to a New
See, now our sound's cutting out now, too.
from the Pocahontas legacy.
It just doesn't seem like the imagery is.
In the new world
It's definitely not proper.
and fight for the future of her people.
But you got the volume meters going. You can move this record level. This is the input level. This does nothing for the playback. It only works for input recording. So this volume control, if we turned it up, we could hear increase in sound. I think it's on automatic though. But that should slide it forward. It should have louder sound, but I think it might be on auto. Yeah, it is. Record level, auto. So if we put it on manual, we can increase the volume, and then it redlines. So I usually put it down to about maybe a 6. But yeah, so if you go to manual, you can manually adjust the input record volume. A lot of people would put it on automatic because they wouldn't want you don't want the red leader, you don't want the red lights coming on, because if the red lights come on, that means your tape is going to have distortion on the audio. So this has been recorded enough. I think we can go ahead and stop it. And we're going to stop the VHS tape as well. And we'll go ahead and rewind it using the counter. Yeah, we'll go to about there. Yeah, see, it records in black and white. It is recording in black and white. It does not record in color. So it's definitely, I mean, there are some hints of color, but you can see it's black and white. So this thing does have that famous phenomenon of recording in black and white. We will show you how to repair that in a future video, so don't worry. I've got plenty of videos planned. I've got a lot of excitement that's going on. But you can see there are some hints of color every now and then. But it's mainly black and white, as you can see. So we'll fix that, because that shouldn't be in black and white like that. It's got like hints of color that come in and out. But it's recording in black and white, so. Some of that could be due to the tuner not coming in right, but I doubt that. So the tuner board is actually going to be underneath this main board here. So the preamp, which is actually right here on this board. Plus there's also inputs and outputs on this board. This is the video board right here. but the tuner is underneath this main board here. So when that board gets removed, we can get to the bottom. So we're just going to remove the screws here, and then we can get to the tuner. So here's our tuner board. We lifted up this top board here. We can see our tuner right here. So as you can see, the tuner for the coaxial, so the coax input right here is in this block right here, which the signal travels into this tuner right here. So this is the tuner, and this is probably the one that has bad capacitors, and I bet you if we replace those capacitors, the tuner will probably come to life. And unless it has some other circuitry problems, and it may, there's also this shielding plate. You take this shielding plate off, and you'll also be able to access more components. So what we have to do is unplug the wire. So we're going to unplug these two wires, and we'll get them off. Probably have to have two hands because it's probably not going to want to unplug very easily. Okay, there we go. There goes one. Okay, and then there's two. And I believe that the tuner board can just slide in or out, but we'll unplug the tuner here. And that tuner is really hot. Why is it that hot? That's kind of unusual for it to be that hot. The tuner is out. So basically the tuner, just the back of it just slides in these two tabs in the back, and then there's two tabs on each side that you just pull. So there's a tab over here and a tab over here. Pull those tabs, you spread them apart, and the tuner will come up and out of there. So these have got some caps. The one cap here is a 63 volt at 470 UF, and I don't have one of those. So I'm probably going to have to wait until I can get one. I believe I've got a 50 volt at 470, but I don't have a 63 volt. So I don't know, if I put a lower voltage cap in there, that may not do the job, because it's got that certain voltage for a reason. Yeah, so I've got my meter. If we check for the caps here, we'll check the caps and just see, because now there's more caps under here too. We've got to pull this shielding plate back as well, but I just want to start testing some of the ones that hey Maui, hey baby girl, just want to start testing some of these caps here. And the Betamax kitty's decided that she wants to do that too. So, did you make an executive decision? Yeah? Okay. Yep, it's final. She made an executive decision. She wants these caps checked. Alright, so we go with here, the 63 volt is probably okay, but we'll test it out anyway. And let's test this one. So we test it out here. Okay, well, you can see that tuner is now working good. Well, it's not the tuner that was in here originally. It's a tuner I pulled out of a parts deck. So this one is the tuner that was originally in here, and I swapped it out for another one. This one actually had some caps that were bad that I didn't have. So rather than waiting for new caps to come in, decided, well, how about I just swap out the tuner board and see if I can make a recording, which I could, you can see that, yes, I can make a recording. Now I can also rewind it here, or stop it if I want. There's a little bit of buzzing that goes on, so I just have to like fine tune it a little bit more. But we can do there we go. That's better. There's a little buzzing in the sound when there's nothing, when there's no audio going through it. There's a little bit of a buzz, and this tuner, it looks like this tuner could use some new caps as well, but at least this tuner actually will work good enough to where we can make our test recording and just see if whether or not this thing is going to perform well. And of course I'm going to go back to the trailers because that way I can have something I could play and show on video here. So the buzzing kind of went away now. So this was the one that was in worse shape. This one was in bad shape. Of course, the seller said that this machine had been in storage for like 20-25 years. And that makes sense because I bet you this chip is not only the caps are bad, but I bet you there's other components on this board that are bad as well. So what we'll do is go ahead and just leave it at that. For right now, this tuner is good enough to where I can make my test recording. Yeah, I gotta remember that VHS is a little bit grainy compared to beta. So I'm thinking, well, the tuner's not that great. Well, that's the quality of the VHS. Because VHS, you can't really see it on camera, but in real life, the VHS is grainy. And I forgot about that because the color contrast is not as good on VHS. And there's a little bit of a fuzzier picture, kind of a little grainy. VHS is a little bit grainy, and that's just VHS. So I've got the tuner dialed in perfectly, and you can see that it is. So we're going to go ahead and rewind the tape once again. But yeah, I gotta remember that. I thought it was maybe the tuner. There was a little bit of graininess, and I thought, well, maybe the tuner's not 100% working. Yeah, it's working. It's just that this is VHS quality, unfortunately. This is why beta was so much better. But I'm gonna go ahead and put in the cassette. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the record button. just do a recording here. And we could do a recording. But yeah, unfortunately, you know, I think that other tuner would have required more work than it was worth. So I thought, you know what, I've got a part stack. I'll pull a tuner out of it. I drug one out of storage, so I had one in storage of the same model that had multiple faults. And I took the tuner board out of it, and the tuner board works on this. So it's got a tuner board that now works. So we'll just kind of watch these trailers until the film starts, and then we'll shut it off. But I'm thinking that this is probably still going to record in black and white. I don't know. I just want to make sure that that it's not the tuner causing the recording issue, because it could have been the tuner that was causing the issue. You know, replacing the tuner was the best idea. I think it was the best way, because yeah, I could have spent an hour, 2 hours on that tuner fixing it, but it was pretty hard because the board is not marked, so you don't know exactly where the traces are. You can see just how small and how many connections are right up against other connections. You can see how hard it would be, and there's no markings as to what the components are, or, you know, there's no marking of the caps. So I could be unsoldering pins that aren't even what I want to take out, you know, so. And it could be, you know, a transistor that might have went out in it. It could have been the IC chip that could have, I mean, it could be a number of things. And rather than, you know, spending 2-3 hours chasing down circuitry and finding out what's good and what isn't, and just the mess that this board is in, I'm like, nah, I'm gonna see if I got another one. And I did. So I forgot I had another Sanyo 7250. Now, I believe that the 7200 and the 7250 have the same exact tuner. Oh, no, wait, no they don't. No, they don't. Because this has got a digital tuner. The 7250 has a digital tuner. The 7200 has a mechanical tuner. So the only way to get a tuner is if you got another one of these that just happens to work. Which this does. Of course, the film is just kind of grainy, you know. I don't know if it'll show up, but there's some graininess. There's some discoloration. Just, you know, VHS was just poor quality. You know, I mean, that's just the way it is, you know. See if you can see some of what I'm talking about. It's kind of hard to show on a TV screen, but if this was captured from a capture card, you would see what I'm talking about. But cartoons actually do look better than other movies. Animation always looks really good on TV. You could have the crappiest TV around, and animation for some reason just seems to kind of pop, you know, quality's better. I'm not sure what this one is. Some kind of anime. Must have been a 90s film. or an early 2000. So that one only on video. They might mean videotape. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the videotape and rewind the VHS tape there. So let's rewind the beta tape there. Let's just see if it records properly. Nope, it records in black and white. So we're gonna fix this. We are going to do a repair on the recording in black and white. So we now know that this does have that problem that a lot of them do have. A lot of these do have the issue with recording in black and white. Now we can fix that. It's a pretty easy repair, but we will do a video on that, as you can see. But if we stop it, we go back to the tuner. So the tuner, which is the VHS DVD combo, this is what I'm using as a playback deck. I'm actually using this deck over my Super VHS deck, and the reason is because this will actually do both DVDs and VHS, and this one will play back Super VHS better than the Super VHS machine that I have, and that's probably because of a fault, a problem with capacitors in the video circuitry is why it's not because that one's better, because it's not. It's just because this one doesn't have a problem, but my Super VHS does. It's got a problem right now where the quality on Super VHS, the quality on the playback is really, really bad. It'll play regular VHS just fine, but the Super VHS part of it is not working, and I have a feeling that that modulator and the video on the video board has probably went bad. And the only way really to fix that is to change out the components. But the problem is that some manufacturers actually would cover the components with liquid rubber, so that you could you had to go to the manufacturer to get the new circuit board to put in. You couldn't. It made it so you couldn't repair it because you had no idea what components were on there. You had no idea what capacitors were. You would never know, okay, are they 5-volt capacitors? Are they 10-volt caps? Well, you don't know because they covered it in this orange rubber substance. Sony did the same damn thing. Sometimes there were certain areas that they didn't want you to repair. They wanted you to buy a new one and solder it in. But that was Super VHS, so we'll get to that maybe in another video. And yes, I do have the Sony Super VHS, which was the high-end deck. This is what is it? The SLV? I can't remember. R5UC. I got one of those too. So. But yeah, but right now this is the deck that I'm using to play back Super VHS. It has quasi playback. Well, quasi playback is where you can play back stuff, Super VHS recordings, you can play them back. However, they're not gonna be the same quality playback as if you were playing it. You need a real VHS, Super VHS machine to get the Super VHS quality. you need to have an actual Super VHS deck to play those Super VHS tapes back in the same quality that was recorded on them. This will just play back Super VHS in kind of like plays it back in standard quality. So that's why it's typically people want the Super VHS decks to play back their Super VHS recordings. Yes, these machines have quasi playback, and yeah, it can play it back, but not in the quality that it's supposed to be in. So, anyway, but yeah, so we do have a problem. And I am very excited about that. I know you're thinking, you're crazy. Why would you be happy about that? Because then we can make a video of it. And we can repair it. And we can resurrect it. Looks pretty good in black and white though, doesn't it? I think so. No, I think it looks really bad in black and white. Actually, no, it's not too bad. But you can see the graininess that VHS has. But yeah, VHS was crap. So anyway, hey, let's see what happens if we record a DVD. Now with DVDs, Betamax doesn't care if the tape is copyright protected. But with a DVD, it's a different story. Because even though the Betamax player isn't going to pick up on the macrovision that's been encoded on the disc, however, what it will do is leave red lines through the picture. So you'll see these red lines when you're trying to record off a DVD. So how do you eliminate that? Well, what you have to do is copy that DVD with a specific software that's designed to take all the copyright stuff off of the disc, and it copies just the film and the menu itself. The copyright protection is taken off when you make a backup copy of the disc. So making a backup copy on a laptop or a computer using the software, they have software, there's DVD Fab, there's DVD Cloner, you can make a what they call a backup copy where it's taking all the copyright material off of the disc, and then you can take that copied disc, play it, and then you can record it onto a tape. But you've got to remove the macrovision first. If I had a macrovision scrubber, which I do have, however, unfortunately, it didn't work when I got it. Bought it off eBay, paid a lot of money for it, and it didn't work. And it turns out one of the integrated circuits, the IC chip, was bad. So there ain't no fixing it. But I bought it specifically for recording off discs if I wanted to, or recording off protective tapes. And I could record it directly to a DVD recorder, which I have. A DVD recorder that I bought back in 2005. It was a Magnavox. I bought this recorder back in 2005, and it's 2022 and it still works. Yes, I did have to do a repair on it a couple of years ago, but ever since I repaired it, it's been working beautifully. But no, I don't have it hooked up, but I do have it somewhere in my stash of electronics and machines, so. But yeah, that is a black and white recording. Yeah, so that'll be fun. That will be a fun little video that we will do. We're gonna rewind this all the way. See if we go to our previous recording. What did our previous recording of the bad tuner look like. I can't remember where it was on the spot. There it is. Oops. I gotta clean the heads on this thing too, so while we're repairing, yeah, there's the old recording. Whoops, hit play. There's the old recording off the old tuner, and it was actually recording some hints of color, but you could see it was black and white. But that was the old tuner that wasn't doing a very good job. But I think the reason why there's some color is because those caps were on the verge of going out. And that's why it recorded some color. But yeah, so where is the problem going to be located? How do we fix that? You're going to have to find out in the next video. But I will tell you exactly everything you need to know on how to fix this problem in a future video. But we'll do that next weekend, okay? But I will tell you this. This is a secret, okay? It's this area right here that has the problem. So we are going to repair that. Now, there's going to be some bad caps, and those are actually 6.3 volt capacitors. They're 6.3, I believe they're 100 microfarad, if I remember right. And I do have, so we do have a working tuner now. So with that working tuner, you know, we can record off of a DVD, but it'll record in black and white. So but we got this tape that we can record. We can go ahead and put a DVD in if we want, but it's gonna probably record, it'll record in black and white, but it'll probably have these lines that'll go through the picture. But we'll go ahead and do that. So let me get a DVD and we'll do a DVD. I've got good old Tom Cruise Mission Impossible on DVD. We're gonna go ahead and we'll put that DVD into the player, and we'll go ahead and play the disc. This one is copyright protected, so if we go to put it onto a tape, I'm pretty sure it's going to record those red lines. I'm positive it will do that. So it's on JVC's screensaver for DVD. Might have to do a little bit of tuning in with the tuner again. So we'll go ahead and play the disc. There's the menu for the DVD. We'll go ahead and hit play. And it's got widescreen or full screen. Let's go with the widescreen. That's where what I'd be watching it in. And you can see the discoloration. This one actually doesn't have the proper color. The colors are a little dark. So maybe the Sanyo models don't like copy protected discs. or tapes. Maybe the Sanyos did care, but no, it's probably just because it's a DVD. And DVDs will do that, and they'll have a line through the DVD. But DVDs are not meant to be copied onto tape. Like I said, if you do it, you have to make a backup copy onto another disc and then copy from the copy in order to record off a DVD, because you've got problems. So let's just skip to, see if we can skip to chapter 2 here. Or at least go forward here. We'll play this part because I think we can play it pretty safe and not have any problems. Oh, let's hit record, because we gotta hit record. We'll play it back here. Let's hit record. We can record this part of it, but yeah, recording off of the DVD, it's going to have those lines through the screen. Of course, it's going to record in black and white anyway, because this one has a problem with recording in black and white. So that's caused by the problem that we will fix in the other video. So this is just seeing if this thing would record, which it doesn't record properly. So why show how to repair the record? Well, I think my friend Anthony, the VCR King, he would appreciate me doing a video on that. And other people that want to use their beta machine to record off TV, there's still people that want to record off TV onto a tape. I don't, there's a lot of people that say, no, nobody records on tape anymore. I still record on tape, but I haven't recently because, like I said, I lost when I moved to the new place, the satellite guy said that there wasn't any way that they could hook up the satellite, because they said there was too many trees in the yard, and so it I couldn't get a signal. The satellite couldn't get a signal because there were too many trees. That's what he said. I think the guy just didn't want to install it. So we'll hit stop. We'll rewind it. Okay. We'll go ahead and stop the DVD. And it's on its DVD menu, so we'll hit the play. Yeah, black and white. And it's also got a tracking issue as well. And that's due to the DVD's encryptions. Because the DVD has encryptions. A DVD has more protection than just regular Macrovision. Macrovision was recorded onto the videotape, onto the video signal. So both the video and the Macrovision were recorded onto the tape. And then the DVDs, they actually have two different copy protection stuff in them. There's codes and stuff that are recorded onto the disc so that a person can't copy off of tape. And it's going to go to its previous recording, which was the Black Cauldron preview. And it's going to go back to its previous. So anyway, but there we go, guys. You can't record off of a DVD unless you take the copyright protection off first. But, you know, it's great for recording off of TV, so, you know, we definitely want this thing recording. I want to be able to record with it, because, I mean, I'm sure I'm going to have some stuff I want to record, you know, but anyway, so we'll see you later. We'll see you in the next video. This video, again, this was way too long of a video, and this went on way longer than I wanted it to. So anyway, we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.